Okay guys, we are here will present how to teach writing. So this is our group's member.
Introduction. Teaching how to write effectively is one of the most important lifelong skills educators impart to their students. When teaching writing, educators must be sure to select research and support materials that not only aid them in teaching how to write, but that will also be the most effective in helping their students learn to write.
Research on second language writing. When writers write, they bring to the task knowledge of the process of writing and of the strategies will be used composing. A number of recent studies have suggested that the processes of L2 writing are in many ways distinct from those of L1 writing. The writer's relative proficiency in the target language is also claimed to be a source of differences between L1 and L2 writing. These differences clearly do exist between writers writing in their L1 and in their L2, and particularly for writers with low level of proficiency in their L2 who often rely heavily on their first language.
And the next is types of writing language. When you encounter one of the above, you usually know what your purpose is in reading it, and therefore you know what to select and what not to select for short and long-term memory.
Types of written language. In our highly literate society, there are literally hundreds of different types of written text, a much larger variety than found in spoken text. Consider the following non-exhaustive list. Non-fiction, such as reports, editorials, essays, and articles, reference. Fiction, like novels, short stories, jokes, drama, letters, personal business, greeting cards, diaries, journals, memos, message, and nonsense.
Characteristic of written language. Number one is permanence, means when students write something they already set in their mind have to finish in one session. Production time. This part is crucial issue for me. In this part, students think about the deadline. Distance have a relationship with the audience anticipation. Orthography. This part is talk about the technical of appearance. Complexity. This is talk about the sentence. Whether students use simple sentence, combined or complex sentence. Complexity. This is talk about the sentence. Whether students use simple sentence, combined or complex sentence. Vocabulary talk about word richness. Formality. This is complex conventions for academic writing, or describe, explain, compare, criticize, argue, etc.
10 micro skills for writing. First, produce grapheme or an orthographic pattern of English. Produce an acceptable chord of words and use appropriate word order patterns. Use acceptable grammar system, pattern, and rules. Express a particular meaning in different grammatical forms. Use cohesive devices in written discourse. Use rhetorical forms and convention of written discourse. Appropriately accomplish the communicative function of written text according to form and purpose. Convey link and connection between event and communicate generalization and exemplification. Distinguish between literal and implied meanings when writing. Correctly convey culturally specific references in the context of written text.
Types of classroom reading performance: A. Oral and silent reading. Occasionally, you will have reason to ask a student to read orally. At the beginning and the intermediate levels, oral reading can, 1. Serve as an evaluate check on bottom-up processing skills. Number 2. Double as a pronunciation check. And number 3. Serve to as some extra students' participation if you want to highlight a certain short segment of a reading passage. And the point B, intensive and extensive reading. Intensive reading calls student attention to grammatical forms, discourse markers, and other surface details. For the other, surface structure details for the purpose of understanding literal meaning, implication, rhetorical relationship, and the like. Extensive reading is carried out to achieve a general understanding of usually somewhat longer text, for example, book, long article, or essays.
Next is principle for designing writing perform. Specifically, there are several design principles to consider when planning for second language writing. Language activity should reflect plausible real-life communication. Second language writing can have the same wide range of purposes as first language writing. Second language writing should be taught systematically, not as a random thing used here and there only as a support task. Its main purpose to help pre-service and practicing teachers design courses for teaching academic writing and to do this as efficiently and effectively as possible, bringing together the what and the how to with research-based principle. What this set is overarching focus and language pedagogy and language building.
How to evaluate students. Evaluate students' writing. Step 1. The reader's mindset. Approach a piece of child's writing the same way you as a reader would approach any other piece of writing. First, get the message. Determine what the young writer is trying to communicate. On a second reading, you might approach the piece more objectively. You are still reading to get the message, but try to divest yourself of all prior knowledge of the writer and the topic, rely solely on the written words. Step 2. Respond first to content. Too often we tend to zero in on mechanical errors such as those involving spelling or punctuation. Mechanical issues are objective. Most of them have a clear right and wrong. They can be dealt with quickly and conclusively. Content issues, on the other hand, are more subjective. They have nuance, they pitch additional issues, and often seem to defy resolution. Step 3. 4 broad categories. Once you have responded to the writing, you are likely to feel that you should evaluate it. An easy way to begin is to place the piece of writing into one of the following 4 categories.
The next is step 4, question to help you evaluate content. The 4 categories above are quite broad. The following specific question will help parents or teacher guide students toward the favorable level. Approach the questions in the mindset of the objective reader who has divested himself or herself to privileged knowledge about the writer and topic. Step 4, standardized writing assessments. Considering the way standardized writing assessment evaluate writing can suggest other ways for you to examine your child's writing. Step 6. Question to help you evaluate mechanics. Once you have responded to the content of the piece of writing and evaluated its effectiveness, you are ready to examine mechanical correctness. As in your evaluation of the content, don't point out all of the error. Focus on a few things that your child seems ready to learn. Okay guys, thank you. That's all from our groups. If you have suggestion or opinion, just comment below. Thank you.